Welcome to Just Puzzling. My name is Chris. Today we're going to do a Killer Sudoku on my iPad. Let's get into it. Hope you're having a great day. Alright, so we'll take the small wings there, so you can see that's a 6 on its own. This is a 3 on its own. We can see these two numbers here. This is going to be a 1 and 2. The cage, or the box that interests me is this one here at the moment. And the reason it interests me is because of this spare cage. So there's a cage that crosses over the box, but it's only one cell. So let's go through that. The numbers in this box has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When you add those numbers together, they add up to 45. So when I add up these cages here, there's going to be short of 45. And whatever that number is the number that's there. So we do 8 plus 5 is 13, plus 6 is 19, plus 18 is 37. So this to get to 45 would be an 8. Okay, so this is just, part of this. This is doing a tutorial to do this. We can see I've got a spare cage here. So the same thing, 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 14 is 34, plus 4 is 38, so that's going to be a 7. 7 from 15 is 8, and so we go through there. Alright, so we're looking for these sorts of patterns to actually get that. So in here, we know that these can't have a 9, this can't have a 9, so this must have a 9 in here somewhere, and then it's either going to be a 2 and a 7 or a 4 and a 5. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Alright, so it's going to be 2 and a 7 because 2 and 7 and 1 for the 8 can't be here, 6 and 3, so this is 3 and 5. So this is going to be 1 and 4, 2 and 7 and 9, and 3 and 5. Alright, so we know that. We also know that 3 is going to be in one of these because 1 and 3 is the only numbers that add up to 4, and this here will be a 3. So what we've got here is we've got a 13, a 13, a 13. So these two numbers are going to be 1 and 2, right? So 13 plus 16 plus 13, so 13 plus 13 is 26, plus 16 is 42. These two numbers will add up to 3, so it's got to be a 1 and a 2. Now 1 can't be there, so because that would have to be 1 and 10, doesn't work. So this is going to be a 2, this is going to be a 1, this will be a 2, and this will be a 9. Alright. So what we now know in terms of that is that we can actually figure out what this number is, because I can go 10 plus 15 is 25, plus 8 is 33, plus 3 is 36, so this is going to be a 9, this here will be a 4, because that's what adds up to 13. Now remember, we're saying this is 3 and 5, so this has got to be a 4 and 1, 4 there, so that's going to be a 1, and that's going to be a 4. Could have done the same thing with the 1 and 3 here. So 2 and 7, don't know much about it at the moment, but I do know that 2 and 8 are going to be here because that's the only number that can, the only place that 8 can go, because a 6 means that that can't be an 8 and 6, so that's got to be a 9 and 5. So we know that 9's up there. Eight and 2, this is going to be 9 and 5, so this is going to be 6 and 4, which means that this is going to be 6 and 4, I was saying. Yeah, I'm saying 6 and 4, 3 and 5. Okay, 6 and 5, because that's not a 9, it's an 8. So 3 and 5 there, 6 and 4. So the 17's got to be 9, so it's going to be 5 and 4. This, or 3 and 6. So this over here is going to be 1 and 7. If that's 1 and 7, then this is 2 and 1. That can't be a 1, so that's a 2, and that's a 1 there. Okay. We can see that this is a 6. 6 can add up by 2 and 4. Well, the 2's in there, so it's not going to be. Or 1 and 5, because of the 1 there, that's going to be a 1, and that will be the 5. So 5 can be there. So 1, 2, 3 can't be there. 5 cannot be there because of that 4, because that'd have to be 5 and 4. So 5 is here. 5 and 4 are here. So this means that this is going to be the 3 and 6. Because of the 3 there, that will be the 3 and that will be the 6. Still got 1 and 7 over here. Alright, so remember spare cage. I actually have a spare cage there over 2 rows. So the 45 plus 45 is 90. So 28 plus 7 is 35. Plus 10 is 45. Plus 30 is 75. Plus 7 is 82. So to get to 90, that's got to be an 8. Right. So that's an 8. 3 is going to be down one of these spots here. Okay, so 8 there. Don't really know what's going on here. I do know that I can figure out that spot. So this is 9, plus 1's 10, plus 24 is 34, plus 3 is 37, so that will be an 8 to get to the 45, which means that's a 6. So now 8 is down this column. Because of this 6, the two numbers that make up 15 are 6 and 9, can't be, or 8 and 7. So 8 is there, so that can't be there. So that's a 7, that's an 8, which leaves an 8 down here, but not in that column, so 8 is down here somewhere. We can see that 6, 7, 8 is all there, so this is going to be 1 and 9. Because of that 1 there, that's a 1, and that's a 9. Alright. So remember, I can do this 2 boxes as 90, and that's a spare cage. So we've got 15 plus 6 is 21, plus 7 is 28, plus 7 is 35, plus 10 is 45, 55, 85, so that's going to be a 5 to take it up to 90, and this will be a 6. So, remember how I said that this was 3 and 5 and this and 6 and 4? That 6 means that that's going to be the 6 there, and that's the 4 there. So because of that's an 8, and I still know that's 1 and 7, 4 is going to be one of those. Okay, so 21 plus 7 is 28, plus that's 10, so this is 7 across here. Can't be 1 and 6, but it can be 2 and 5 or 3 and 4. Actually, I know that that's a 3 and a 5 because I've been saying that that's a 3 and 5 for so many times. So 3 and 4 is going to be down here, which makes this 2 and 5. Because of that 5 there, that's a 5 and that's a 2. So this is 9 and 1 across here because of the 6, 7, 8. So 9 and 1 there. So 2 is going to be there because it can't be there. 3 is going to be one of these two. 4 is the other number. So 4, if that's 2 and 8, that's a 3. That would be an 8, so that can't be a 3. So that's the 3 there. This is a 4, which means that's a 7, because 7 plus 4 plus 2 plus 8 is 21. This is now 12, and this is going to be 8 and 4. 8's there, so that's an 8. That's a 4. We now know that the 3, which is in this one here, has got to be there because of that 3 there. So that's a 3. That leaves this as being 6 and 7 because 8 is out, 9 is out, and the only numbers that add up to 13 is 8 and 5, 9 and 4, and 6 and 7. Because of that 6 there, that's a 6. That's a 7. So this means that this is 8 and 5. That's a 5 there, so that's a 5, and that's an 8. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 is across here. We know that this is 3 and 4 and this is 3 and 4. Still 1 and 9 there. A bit frustrating. So 1 must be here somewhere. So because of that 1 there, that's a 1. 2, 3, 4. No, 5. So 5 is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 9, because of that 9 there. That's a 9 there. That's a 6. So 6 is down here because of those two 6s there. That's a 6 there. Still don't know which is the 3 and the 4 here at the moment. No, that's 3 and 4. So what's the other numbers? 2, don't know. And 7. So 2 and 7 here. 7 and 1. Okay, so 1 can't be here. 1 can be here, 1 and 9. So 9 is in this one, 9 and 5. 9 is in this one, so that means a 9 has to be up here. So that's a 9 there. We know that this is 1 and 7. No, we don't. 1 and 9. And we know this is 1 and 3, so 1 has to be there. And that's a 7. So now I know that 7 is going to be there because of this 7 here and these two 7s there. So that's going to be the 2, still 2 and 8 here. Because of that 8 there, that's an 8, that's a 2. Alright, so 9 and 5, don't know much about that. I do actually, so 5 can't be in this, so that's a 5, which means that that's going to be a 5, that's a 9. Down here will be a 9, this is a 1, so that means that has to be the 1 there. I'll take that out, and that's a 3. Missing a 3 in this box, 3 there, so that's a 3. 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 9 is 17, so the number that's missing is 4. That puts a 4 up here with a 5. Another 5 there, so that's a 5 and that's a 4. Still know that's 4 and 3. Don't know. Ah, there's a 3. So that's a 4. That's a 4. That's a 3. Okay, 1, 2. So 2 is there. 7 is going to be there. 9 is going to be there. That leaves this here as a 9. 1, 2, 3. So 3's got to be there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That finishes that off there. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. So I'm missing a 2. 2's there. So that's a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So we did that in just under, don't know what we did. We did it in just under, or just over 12 and a half minutes. Anyway, there's a Killer Sudoku done. As you know from previous videos, I love these because of the maths-based part of it. I don't have to put any notes in it. Hope you enjoyed. Hope I explained it. If not, just put a comment in. Until next time, bye for now.